Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Round 9 for Pure Speed Elite Series here at Richmond Raceway. America's longest short track, you need power, handling, and consistency to have a good finish. But to win, you need it all, along with a little luck. Who will take the virtual checkered flag? Stay tuned to find out, as I'm here with Jordan McGraw bringing you all the action from the booth. Jordan, how's it going tonight?
Going great. It's a little wet where I'm at, but luckily no rain on iRacing, so we're gonna get this race in. Gonna get to see some fun short track action like we did last week.
Absolutely. We've had a few of those races, so with what happened last week, it was absolutely insane. I think we're going to have a little bit cleaner race this week. It's Richmond. It's not as crazy as the paperclip, so I think we're in for a really good race tonight. We have a couple of different drivers out here that we have not seen in a while or before at all, so it'll be really cool to see what they can do out there. But Jordan, we have a couple of guys already out qualifying.
Hello.
Yep, few already qualifying, and Andrew Wisdom backed up his pace leading practice time with a 21.496 here in qualifying. That is very easily the pole. The next best time is a 21.831 on the board. So Andrew Wisdom laying down the law early on in this session.
Yeah, that is crazy. A 21.49. Hall, thank you so much for the biddies. I really appreciate it. 2,500. That is insane. Mons is out here. He with the host. Thank you so much. We're on board with James Holzer, who has put down a 21.65, and Edward Schur, who has a 21.92. He's another strong one out here tonight, and you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. Andrew Wisdom is always out here on top, along with Edward Schur. We have three guys now who have 2 wins this season. Brad Herman, he's got 2 wins, but Jordan, we haven't seen him in a while. Austin Reedy has 2, and Andrew Wisdom, he also has 2 wins this season. Rangers, I see you out there. What's up? We have Matthew O'Brien out here on track. He's on board with the 21.76. There's been a lot of 7s tonight. These guys are very, very close on time, so I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. But Andrew Wisdom, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to beat a 21.4.
Yeah, I think a 21.4 is going to be stacked. Only one other driver even ran a 5 in practice, and that was James Holzer, who ran a 6 here for qualifying. So I imagine a 4 is going to get the job done. Not probably going to see any more 5s other than the 5 that Brendan L. booked, just put down with a 21.590. 6s and 7s are where most of these drivers are going to be, probably a few 8s. If you hit a 6, you're going to be starting toward the front. And Richmond being what Richmond is, a tough little short track. It's very fast, really tough to pass on. Can be real treacherous if you try to overdrive the car and beat up your tires. So track position is going to be huge to start off this race with.
Absolutely. We did see a driver get loose already and made some contact with the wall. That's going to be hard to come back from that for qualifying here, but still plenty of time. 6 minutes left in qualifying. We have 8 times on the board. Plenty of laps left to be had out here, so we'll see what they can do. We have Justin Mottens out here. You can see him out there. We saw him. He was the one who got loose coming off the corner. Cole Snyder is another one, very, very strong in practice. I can't wait to see what he can do tonight. We have Doc Holliday also out here. He is currently 10th on the board. And we had a new driver out here, Hunter Johnson. First race of the night, so I'll be interested in seeing how he maneuvers around out here. All right, Jordan, with everyone that you have seen, who do you think we're going to see out front tonight?
Well, I think the car that seems to be a tenth faster than everybody else is probably a good bet. So I'm gonna
I would think so.
go ahead and take Andrew Wisdom and see how well that does.
You see James Holzer, he's out here in second with a 21.53 with Brendan Book directly behind him with a 5.9. So these guys running very, very tight with time. So I'm excited. It's Richmond. It's the longest short track out here. I want to see this play out, and I want to see what these guys are going to bring out here. You see Andrew Wisdom back on track, just running a couple of more laps. And I can't forget to say this, guys, but we have our final giveaway tonight. Once we get into the race and get situated, I'll go ahead and bring out the giveaway. It's going to be a simple one tonight. It's going to be just you put in exclamation point giveaway, and that will give you a chance to win one of three options: a $20 Xbox gift card, a $20 PlayStation gift card, or a $20 iRacing gift card. And this is just all thanks for everything that you guys do. It's much appreciated. Let's take a look at John Honeycutt in that number 50, sitting directly behind Matthew O'Brien, and he just hangs a left and slams into the wall. Tough moment for him right here as he is trying to make a qualifying time.
I think he had been out earlier. I think a lot of these drivers are getting in some extra practice. It seems like everyone's already. I mean, I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe they're trying to use all this time to lower that lap a little bit. But 10 minutes here for practice. Usually we see these drivers make 2 laps and get out. But this is more of a group qualifying session. It seems like as drivers continuously are lowering those times and going out there. As Brendan Wood down to a 5.10, James Holzer down to a 5.30, so they're creeping up on Andrew Wisdom's time. But,
yeah.
Still, no one has touched it yet.
It's going to be close. We have Brendan Book, just like Jordan said, creeping up there. So James Holzer right behind him in third. Edward Schur with a 21.65, who was just passed by Matthew O'Brien in that number 17. And I'll tell you what, he's been really fun to watch and practice. Very, very strong out here. So I think we're going to see big things from him tonight. Rangers, I see you out there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, as we're talking about Edward Schur, he ran a 5.98, and then he bested that with a 5.87, so he moves up to fourth in the board, ahead of Matthew O'Brien. So these drivers working hard to work on that track position. As Schur gets loose, slides it around, he's going to come to pit road and get the quick fix and get out there and probably make some more laps.
You know, another thing that we were going to have to watch tonight is trying to come into pit road. If you're on a green flag stop, you're really going to have to woe these cars down before pit road, and it's going to be very interesting, especially in traffic. And even when you're coming out, you're going to have to be very careful maneuvering back out on track. I think we're going to...
7-car wreck on the back straight.
Let's take a look. That's Brendan Book. You see the 88 of Doc Holliday right behind him. He is coming off spinning and did a 360 and kept going. So we're going to see a few of that tonight, but I don't think it's going to be like we saw at Martinsville. Yensa, what's up? How are you? What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hope everyone's doing well out there. 14 drivers that I saw in practice. I think a few of them are going to skip qualifying and start in the back. We'll see. We've had 12 people so far put up a time. Michael York on the bottom with a 21.81 and Cole Snyder with a 21.80. Even then, from Andrew Wisdom, a 21.44. I don't know what he's got in that engine, but that's just crazy to me.
Well, Michael Waltrip's jet fuel, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so. Whatever he has is working.
Yep.
Balls fan, what's up? Sick Parrot, how are you? Hope you guys are doing good. We're on board Justin Mons in that 41, looking good. I love that paint scheme that he's got. I know I say that, but I really like it. He's doing a great job out here. He's had some bad luck in some races, but I'll tell you what, this is a man on a mission and always comes back as he is getting loose coming off the corner and saves it. Great job saving that. 17 seconds left in qualifying, and while we are watching these guys, I want to take a look. Let's take a look at the schedule here. You can see next week we are headed to the high banks at Talladega. It's going to be a wild ride. I cannot wait. There's going to be a lot of exciting stuff going on there. And speaking of that, let's take a look at the points. Andrew Wisdom, who is sitting as our pole sitter at the moment, he is leading the points with 274, with Edward Shore directly behind. These guys are having quite the battle on track and in points. He's got 264 with John Honeycutt with his P2 finish last week. It's going to move him back up to third with 230. Austin Reedy P4 with 226 with Matthew O'Brien 218. So a lot of guys moving around and getting ready to go out here to go live. These guys are getting ready to grid up. So as Jordan said, Andrew Wisdom is going to be a great pick out here tonight with Brendan Book. I mean, he's looking very fast out here, Jordan.
Yeah, raced with Brendan Book last weekend here in a truck race in trucks, and he dominated that event. James Holzer, typically in that league, was not there, so going to be interesting to see what kind of speed he has. And then Edward Shore, he's been fast everywhere we go. So it's definitely not a given that Andrew Wisdom's going to win this race. Nothing is a given in racing, but right now he is starting P1, and between practice and qualifying, he's shown to be the fastest driver here so far.
All right, these guys are gridded up, so let's get moving on what you're going to see out here. Row 1, we have Andrew Wisdom, our pole sitter for Nitro Motorsports. He'll be our pole sitter. We have Brendan Book on the outside for Don't Panic Esports. In row 2, we have James Holzer. He is in that number 42 car with Edward Shore on the outside. We have Matthew O'Brien in row 3 in that number 17 with Justin Mons in the number 41. In row 4, we have John Honeycutt in that number 50 for Frozen Toes Racing and Doc Holliday in the number 88. And in row 5, we have Jacob Locklear in the 84 car along with Hunter Johnson in that number 1.
Cole Snyder is in row 6. Alongside Michael E. York. Austin Reedy will be starting in the 13th spot alongside Cole Martin. And Enrique Quinones and Kelly Mellinson will be in the final row, and those back 4 drivers opted not to put down a qualifying time.
And that is our field for tonight. Let's go ahead and bring that back up, and we'll get these drivers moving shortly. But man, oh man, I cannot wait to see what these guys are going to do tonight. A challenging track for sure, but I think it's going to be a good one.
_on_ Stratus just resubbed
I
for
certainly
1
hope
month.
so. There's definitely a lot of opportunity for racing. A very fast track, really pretty wide. It can be treacherous, especially on cold tires, out of corner exit. It's definitely going to have to manage your throttle and then manage your tires as far as the run goes. This track eats up tires, drive too hard, and you can eat up either your right front or your right rear depending on your driving style. And either will make this track extremely difficult to get around, especially when you're trying to race other people. And we've already had some weird stuff going on around the row 3.
We have, yeah, I don't know what's going on. But I do want to give a shout out to Hall. Thank you so much for the cheers, and Lock on Stratus with the sub. Thank you so much, guys. We are getting ready to go live here, lap 2. So these guys are still under pace. Hopefully they can get back in line and get everything figured out. But we have Andrew Wisdom, who will lead us off as the pole sitter. Brendan Book on the outside. I'm excited. I can't wait for this. And it's going to be crazy with everything that spilled over from last week. Are we going to see any rivalries happening tonight? We're going to have to stay tuned to find out, but it's going to be a fun one, for sure.
There were definitely some drivers unhappy with each other at the end of that race. Yep, we're gonna see if the goal is over, but the pace car's off, Frozen.
The pace car is off, and we are getting ready to go green at here, Richmond Raceway, and they are off. Andrew Wisdom is starting.
Oh, the 50! He spun the tires. Already an accident in the back.
Oh man, let's take a look at what happened here. John Honeycutt got onto the back of the 17, spun the tires, and yes, off he went, made contact with fellow teammate 84 of Jacob Locklear. Really unfortunate for that. That's going to bring out our first caution of the night.
Yeah, the 23 also getting involved in that, Cole Snyder, with some damage. So just an unfortunate series of events for the 84, the 23, nowhere they could go. The 50 of Honeycutt just a little overzealous there at the start, trying to get a little too much throttle. And this is a place where the rear tires, it's really difficult to get them hooked up, especially when they're cold and especially when they're worn. And here on the pace laps, they're really, really cold. And that's just what can happen.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can have a talk with Andrew Wisdom in that number 9 car. Andrew, how are you tonight?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Congratulations on the pole. How do you think your race is going to go here tonight with incredibly fast speeds that I've seen out there from you?
I think we're doing pretty good on race pace. Didn't get too much practicing around other cars in the warm-up, but I think we're doing all right. We definitely have good short-run speed, I guess, based on qualifying. So hopefully we get some green flag laps and hopefully it pans out.
I would say so. All right. Well, good luck to you tonight, and I won't keep you in here, but hope to see you in the booth afterwards.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
That was Andrew Wisdom in that number 9 car. It's extremely strong season so far. And the second season for PSES. Always fun watching these guys try to maneuver around each other and race their hearts out. It's always a fun time. With our first caution of the night, Jordan, I gotta ask, how many cautions do you think we're gonna see here?
Well, I think that one was sort of a fluke incident. I think the drivers are going to be a lot more careful here. We're just going to have to get racing to see. I mean, I hope we don't see a lot of drivers losing it at the start-finish line when they take the green. So I think we're just going to have to kind of see it. But one thing I'm looking at is there's no front-end damage on that 23. So that tells me he used his fast repair. I'm sure the 50 car used his fast repair as well. The 84 is pretty mangled up, so he is holding on to that fast repair despite the damage he got. So some different strategies there, but still with 100 and more than 175 laps to go, holding on to that fast repair might be the correct call. And also the 14 of Kelly Mellinson, he is currently on pit road right now. Not sure if he had an issue or what, but he is currently 1 lap down.
We are getting ready to go back to green, and I want to give a shout out to that Miller guy. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in, and yeah, it's going to be so fun at Talladega. I love the super speedways, and it's always a ton of action. You're probably going to see the big one out there, so I can't wait to see everything and how it plays out. But we're going to see Andrew Wisdom lead us off as we're going back to green once again. The 42 falling in behind, that is James Holzer with Brendan Book, and that 7, he's going to take over P3, and man, oh man, are they bunched up behind him.
Yeah, they're bunched up, but giving each other plenty of room. That outside lane, using almost that third lane to get to the corners. The 42 of James Holzer going up really high. Not sure if he blew the corner, if he's trying to work in that high outside lane from his exit. It looks like he's trying to use that outside lane to get a run on our leader, the 9 of Andrew Wisdom. But Andrew Wisdom continues to lead as they're heading out of 2 onto the back straight.
Yeah, they're looking very good so far. I want to take a look back here. Single file line, and you see Justin Mons in that 41 and James Holzer just running really high in that 42. You saw him up there. Man, oh man, what a line. We'll see how he maneuvers around in that. You can see the gap that he closed just running that high side and getting a huge run, but I'm curious how that's going to lay out on his tires as he makes contact with the wall.
Yeah, using different lines in each end of the track. He was using that bottom lane. This time he uses the bottom line through 3 and 4 as well as in 1 and 2. So opted. I think he was just testing the waters up there to see what kind of grip he could get, and he was getting pretty handily beat on corner entry, but he was able to make up most of it on corner exit, but that wasn't really helping him for the corner entry into one. But here he goes again, using that high line. We're going to see what kind of run he can get out of turn 4. He gets a little bit of wheel spin. That's going to hurt his exit, and the 9 car of Andrew Wisdom is going to hold on to about a car length lead heading into 1.
Yeah, doing a great job on the high side. You do get an amazing run off, and I'll tell you what, I'm watching this battle between Austin Reedy and the 89 of Cole Martin along with the 81 of Michael York. These guys were going side by side. 81 gets loose, goes into the wall. Austin Reedy dives it down low, but man, oh man, these guys are really getting loose coming off the corner, and when you're in that dirty air and you're side by side, the racing is going to get insane, and that's what we just saw right there. But I'll tell you what, they did a great job of holding on to it. Let's take a look at newer driver. It is Hunter Johnson in that one. He's got Justin Mons on the outside as he is taking it really low right on that line. These guys looking really good, but man, you can really see how these guys are trying to handle it coming off of the corners. It's just so incredibly close. Let's go on board with Hunter Johnson as he is trying to maneuver around that. The RPM's kicking up and you will hit in the red as you're coming into the turn. Get a little loose coming off the corner. You see the 41 has a little wiggle there, but they're still moving.
Now watching the front, the 42 still trying to use that outside lane to catch the 9 of Andrew Wisdom. The 9 of Andrew Wisdom is pulling away as the 7 of Brendan Book has just kind of kept pace, run his own race. They were sitting in 3rd, Edward Schur in 4th. Our top 4 hasn't changed too much since the beginning of this race. The only real, the real biggest change as we get to a yellow flag was Johnson in that one car, moving up from 10th to 6th before this caution came.
Let's take a look at this. What happened with the caution? The number 50 involved yet again. Hits the wall not once, not twice. Goes into the inside wall. It collects Cole Snyder. The 23, he still goes on by, but that is going to be a little bit of damage. Tough night for John Honeycutt out here so far.
Yeah, got loose, got into the wall. It looked like that typical. He maybe had a little too much speed exiting the corner, grabbed a little bit too much wheel to try to get tight, or to try to keep off the wall, lost the car a little bit, hit the wall there really hard, and then was just trying to gather it up and just couldn't quite do it. But again, the 50 and the 23 both involved in that. Actually looked like Cole Snyder might have been able to sneak through there just barely, with minimal damage at the very least. A little bit of contact on his right front, but not too shabby. But both of those cars have already used their fast repair, so the 50 of John Honeycutt is going to be hurting for the rest of this race if he can even continue.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys on pit road, everyone except for Michael York, who chose to stay out. A mad rush as we're coming off of pit road, so looks like Andrew Wisdom will beat everyone coming off with the 42 of James Holter. He's going to be right behind. Lana, what's up? How are you? You guys, I think it's time to start the giveaway. What do you think? Let's go ahead and start the giveaway. Hopefully this does it correctly. If you want to be involved in the giveaway, just go ahead and push ! giveaway. Good luck to you all joining, and I appreciate all the support out here. You guys are absolutely amazing, and good luck as you go out here. Looks like Michael York did end up going in. You can see Justin Mons really low. Andrew Wisdom will be leading us off once again. James Holter in the 42 will be in second. Brendan Book in the 7, he will be third. Hunter Johnson, a new driver, first time here tonight. He'll be coming P4 with Matthew O'Brien. He's going to be P5, leading us off to the green flag.
Is Champ there?
Oh, thank you so much for the biddies. Thank you. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, smart decision from Michael York to pit there, being the only driver to stay out. He was going to be on old tires, and this is a place where tires are incredibly important. They go away about 20 to 25 laps into the run. The car tends to go towards the incredibly tight side. Of course, as you're wearing both tires, this is a track where corner exit can be really treacherous. You have to manage your throttle as well as your corner entry, as well as your steering input and everything to try to keep that car straight while also keeping your right side tires happy. Right idea there was to pit like everyone else. He's going to be in the back where, in theory, it's safe, but that's kind of where we've seen both of our accidents so far. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. But, and like you said, that'll leave
Give her
the 9 of Andrew Wisdom out there in the lead.
cheered.
But actually,
X100
41 is in front of him somehow, some way.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get his lap back and move to the back of the field here. We have Kelly Melanson, who is down 16 laps. I'm not sure if he hung up the helmet for tonight, but man, rough night for him as we're coming back from our second caution here. Thank you guys for the cheers, for the bits, for the subs. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate it. Make sure you get into the giveaway. We already have quite a few tickets out there, so really cool to see that. We have 14 tickets going around out there, so hopefully we can get some more fellas in here. We have about 27 minutes left on the giveaway timer as we are heading back to green. And Andrew Wisdom is going to lead us back off. We have James Holzer in that 42. Great start for him, and he loves that high side, Jordan.
Yeah, he's really trying to work that high side in, trying to get used to it, trying to get some rubber up there, trying to figure it out for later on in this race. But right now, it hadn't been too much of a benefit for him here in the short term. Maybe in the long term, that'll be something that helps him on down as he's riding right up against that wall down that front straight as they head into one.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. These guys are single file line for the most part until, we saw, I can even tell who that is, but man, oh man, I do believe that was Austin Reedy. Might have hit the wall, or that could have been just a wiggle, trying to keep it off of the wall. Either way, he is still on the move.
Oh, he got the wall good. He got the wall pretty good there, coming off of turn 2.
I saw it in the background. I wanted to go back here, but Cole Snyder directly in front of him. And we have Justin Mons, who we saw go into the back of the pack here. What do you see, Jordan?
Oh, it just that line that Holzer is taking is putting him dangerously close to running over the 9 of Wisdom on corner entry. That was really scary, and he's trying the crossover after that, but not able to pull it off. The 9 able to hold him off and actually pull a pretty solid amount away, but the 42 is able to get in there so much deeper using that outside lane that when he goes in there right on the 9's bumper, that's almost causing issue.
Yeah, these guys are very close, and I feel like Brendan Book is being very patient behind him. And Hunter Johnson, the new driver of the night, sitting P4 at the moment. Andrew Wisdom going down super low with, man, I just want to see the tire wear for James Holzer out here by the end of this run. I think it's going to be a little crazy. I think we might see him switch up his line throughout this run.
Yeah, practicing for that move, trying to get through, like trying to get that rubber up there. But I'm watching that 7 of Brendan Book and that 1 of Johnson. Oh, and as I say that, the 1 gets super loose coming off the corner. A lot of wheel spin coming out of turn 4 and gets into the wall just a little bit. Not hard enough, I don't think, to damage his car a lot, but still we're going to have to monitor that and see how much that hurts him here as we go forward into the race, as we go forward into this run. But it's so easy off of turn 4. Turn 4, it feels like that turn opens up nice and easy, and you can be really aggressive on exit. But we have a battle for the lead there.
We do have a battle brewing up. James Holzer just putting the pressure on the 9 of Andrew Wisdom. Absolutely incredible out here. Brendan Book seems like he is just trying to hang on. He's taking it pretty chill at the moment. I'm not sure if he's trying to save the tires or if he's having a hard time keeping up with these two or just waiting to see what they do. Either way, these guys are very close together, and you can cover them with a blanket as the top 3 have put a gap over the guys behind him as Hunter Johnson made some contact with the wall, and that has put him back.
Yeah, this is a track that's going to reward patience. The 42 of James Holzer, known throughout the various racing circles as being an incredibly aggressive driver. Brendan Book, it kind of depends on the day, but normally he's a little more patient, and right now I think that's the difference right there. The 42 being aggressive, trying to figure out a way around that 9 of Andrew Wisdom, trying up different lines here from the beginning. driving it a little bit harder. The 7, I think, just being incredibly patient behind this 9.
We're on board with Brendan Book, and you can just see how close he gets to that 42 as they are in the center of the turn. He's going to bring it low as James Holzer. He's going to bring it high, and these guys, when they come off, it's kind of funny because they go side by side, but then James gets that insane run coming off the turn, and he usually leads them off into the next one. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, but these two going at it like that, it just might let Andrew Wisdom put a little bit more of a gap on him.
Yeah, and he opted to run that lower line there through turns 3 and 4, and I think that's because the 7 was putting enough pressure on him that he had to play defense there more. And honestly, he was a little bit quicker through there. Not as good as he had been through 1 and 2 though that next lap. And one other reason he may be running that high line on opposite ends of the track is maybe he's trying to wear the tires evenly. Running down on that yellow line tends to protect that right front a little more. Running up high tends to protect the right rear. And then, of course, running lower on the track tends to wear both tires a little bit more with that, while protecting the right front a little more than running up in a different place. So maybe he's just trying to manage his wear in that fashion. But either way, it seems like he might have driven just a little bit too hard to start off this run. The 9 Avenger Wisdom starting to pull away, and now he's under fire from the 7 of Brendan Book.
Yeah, those two are just getting ready for a battle for second as Brendan Book is all over him. Guys, we have 22 minutes left in the giveaway. 16 tickets are out here. I want to give a shout out to Jake and Big Chief. Big Chief is asking how to sign up for the league. If you want, go ahead and message me on Twitch afterwards, and I'll see what I can do. It just depends on the rating that you have, and we'll see if we can't get you in. Let's take a look, see if we have any crazy races going on out here. The top 3, though, it is just absolutely insane. You see the 88.
Fifth is pretty good.
All right, let's go to the battle for 5th, which I was just out there. Matthew O'Brien in that 17. He's got the 5 car of Schur directly behind him, Edward Schur. We've seen a lot of him over these last several races. A very, very strong driver, along with Austin Reedy, who's behind him. So I don't think we're going to see these guys in 6th and 7th very long. And Matthew O'Brien, he's had some great practice time. So I think we're going to see these guys trying to move up through here.
And he's typically one of the sneakier drivers, but he's been fast pretty much everywhere we go. And he kind of catches up with you at a random point during the race. So him running in 5th, right now 3.4 seconds off of the leaders. He's just running his pace, taking his time. The 5 of Edward Schur and the 11 of Austin Reedy have been so quick pretty much everywhere they go as well. Both of those drivers so good, so quick. Imagine they're gonna be factors before this race is over. But right now they're gonna probably need a yellow as they're a decent ways back from our leaders at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. We're on board with Edward Schur in that number 5, and we're on board with him as he is behind Matthew O'Brien in that 17, and you can see the banking here at Richmond Raceway is going to be a lot more crazy at Talladega in this camera. So gotta love the angle of this camera and how it just shows what the banking is out here and how it looks. You gotta love it. But man, he is all over the bumper of the 17, and I think we might see a battle out here for P5.
Yeah, he's currently under fire from the 11 of Austin Reedy. Reedy took an outer lane that got really loose off of turn 2. He was digging hard. He tried that outside lane and then tried to cut it down off of the corner to get the run, and just got a little too aggressive with the throttle there. The car just not ready for that move quite yet. But still, these drivers are going after each other really hard here on lap 41.
Yeah, 41 of 180. Let's take a look at our leader once again, Andrew Wisdom. Still a little bit of a gap behind him and between him and the 42 of James Holzer. Brendan Book has not let his sights off of James Holzer whatsoever. These two, I have a feeling, might be battling it out for a second, and we might see Brendan Book take it over. We're going to find out. These guys seem very, very solid, though. I'm curious how much patience that Brendan is going to have as these guys battle it out, coming off a corner exit, lap after lap. Atlanta says you need a controller frozen so you can control the roll bar camera. How does that even work? You need to show me. I do not know how that would work.
That sounds neat.
Yeah, that does sound extremely neat. We're on board with Matthew O'Brien once again in that 17, and he is quickly approaching Hunter Johnson in that one car, who is sitting P4. Quite the group together, about 4 cars together as Matthew O'Brien stays high. We have Hunter Johnson. He is going low, lap 45 of 180. Matthew O'Brien going for the move, diving down low as we head into the corner. That is going to allow him to take over P4. These guys side by side. He's going to have a great run. I think Hunter Johnson is going to let him go, and these guys are off and moving.
Yeah, the one is really struggling right now. It looks like that car really tight for him. Oh, as he gets loose coming off the corners, he's struggling with both ends of every corner. It looks like that one car not handling the way he would want to, as really struggling. I think maybe might have burned his tires up a little bit trying to stay with those guys, and then getting into the wall a little earlier probably didn't help. But right now he needs the yellow to go in there, fix some repairs, get some fresh tires on, and get back into a rhythm. Because that one car currently moving backwards at the moment.
Yeah, he is moving backwards, and I saw Austin Reedy get loose again coming off the corner. I don't know if he made any contact with the wall, but he's making me nervous, Jordan. He's making me really nervous. He's going to dive down low, and just a power move past the one car of Hunter Johnson, goes right in front of him, and these guys are off and moving. But let's take a look. Matthew O'Brien, who passed him not too long ago. These guys are really starting to separate. And let's take a look at our leader. You can see the gap between those guys. So the top 3 are definitely together, and there is quite a gap between 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, I thought the 7 was doing a good job of pacing himself, but right now he's fallen off of these top 2 quite a bit. About a half a second off of the 42 of James Holzer, and James Holzer has managed to reel in Andrew Wisdom a little bit. So right now we currently have a battle for the lead brewing. 7 falling off just a little bit here, as we're likely nearing a green flag pit stop here at some point. I'm not sure what the fuel window exactly is, but here on lap 50 of this race, most of these drivers have come in to make a pit stop. But green flag pit stop's got to be coming up here, maybe not shortly, but within the next 20 or so laps.
I would say so. And Claps, you asked about Wisdom. What's the gap? Well, you can see it there. There is not much of a gap. The 42 takes the high side. Andrew Wisdom takes the low line. These guys are just so super close together. But the gap between the 3rd and 4th, a little over 4.5 seconds, and those guys are pretty well stacked together. I would say the next group that we have here, it looks like York, past we have Johnson, Mons, and Snyder. York is out here with John Holiday, and past that, these guys are pretty well separated. You can see Team FTR, Jacob Locklear. He's got a lot of damage still to his car from earlier incident. And John Honeycutt, his teammate. Talk about a modified. His is looking like it's wanting to get there, Jordan.
Yeah, both of those cars with damage from earlier incidents. The issue with John Honeycutt is he doesn't have a fast repair. Jacob Locklear opted to keep it in his back pocket, so if he can get a yellow here, we've reached a point in the race where he can fix it with some confidence that he can make it to the end of this race. But right now, both of those drivers really hurting, and John Honeycutt pretty close to going a lap down, as behind him the 9 of Andrew Wisdom got really loose coming off the corner there, and it also looked like the 42 might have gotten loose as well. Both of them digging really hard going after this lead.
Yeah, we're on board with Andrew Wisdom, and we're looking behind him right now. But Andrew Wisdom did get loose coming off the corner, and you can see a little bit of a gap between him and second, about half a second. You can see Holzer back there, but he is definitely going to be running up on some traffic momentarily. As did he just pass him? I changed my view.
No,
oh, he's on the high side. There he is.
yeah, he's going around the 50 of John Honeycutt, and I noticed the 9 car had actually moved up his line a little bit that time. He entered turn 1 a little bit higher, arced it down into turn 2, working the 50. He was running pretty much around the yellow line, but by himself, he's kind of started entering a little bit higher than he had been and trying to sort of late apex it like a road course corner at the exits of these corners. I think that's really helped him pick up some speed here as the 42 starting to struggle just a little bit, as he might have just nicked the wall.
Yeah, you can see him just falling back a little bit. This might be the opportunity that Brendan Book needs, but the run that he gets off of the corner is just absolutely insane.
He's absolutely lighting up those tires on exit, though. He was drag racing out of turn 4 there. Those tires are not going to be happy. He's doing everything he can to keep the 7 of Book behind him, but I don't think it's going to last for long. He's going to run that lower line, play a little bit of defense this time instead of running his typical higher line. But the 7 of Brendan Book has been incredibly patient with him, but I think that patience is going to go out the window if that 9 car starts to get much smaller in his windshield.
Yeah. These guys are definitely, the gap is increasing for Andrew Wisdom. Great news for him, but as these two battle it out for second and tires are getting worn, it's tough out here for Brendan Book at the moment, who is kind of stuck behind Holzer, who is having a fantastic run. But as soon as he thinks that he is going to be able to get around him, James Holzer just gets that beautiful run, and he is off and running with it.
Yeah, even running a lower line, he's still running about a car width off, and right there he tried that line that Andrew Wisdom had picked up, and that actually seemed to work for him, as he was able to leg out about a half a car length on the 7 of Brendan Book. So both of these drivers, I think, were watching and learning, and they're experimenting and trying, and the 42 starting to get a little bit better of a bite. Now he's going to go to that high line, even though it seemed like that was starting to work for him, and I just think that's a slower line for both of them. He's able to get that great run in comparison to the 7, but the 7 is having to slow down a little bit because he doesn't have the entire track to exit the corner with. So very interesting strategy. Again, I think he's trying to figure that out for later, trying to get that part of the track worked in a little bit, but very, very interesting to see somebody running Richmond like Darlington.
For sure. I mean, I ran the high side a couple of times. You do get a great run coming off, but I didn't do it long enough to see how the tires would wear with that. So it'll be interesting to see. Is he going to have to go in sooner than, let's say, Andrew Wisdom and Brendan Book? I want to take a look at Matthew O'Brien back here, sitting P4. He's about 5 seconds back. Doing a great job. You can see the gap that he's got behind him with Edward Schur, about a second behind him. So these guys are definitely separated. And as Jordan said before, I think we're going to have to see pit stops coming up soon here. We're on 65 of 180.
The 1 car of Mark Johnson, he's heading to pit road right now. He's about to come in and pull on there. So the first of our top 10 drivers at the very least hitting pit road. He was falling back. He needed it a little bit. Now I wonder if that'll start to bring some of these other drivers in. As we see the 9, he's working lap traffic. The 84, he needs a quick yellow for his strategy of not using the fast repair to work.
Absolutely. Tough race for him. He's been strong in practice, really pushing the car to see what he can get out of it as far as Jacob goes. But he is now lapped, and he's definitely going to need a caution to help him out here. Fast repair is definitely going to be in use as Brendan Book in that 7 makes his way past the 84 of Jacob Locklear. Our leaders are still out, Jordan.
Yep, none of our top 3 have opted to come in, and right now those are the drivers you're going to want to watch here. Right now, Brendan Book and James Holtz are having to deal with the 1 car who is currently on fresh tires. Kind of took away Book's line. He ran the middle there. Holzer ran his typical high line. I think that ended up hurting the 7 a little more than anybody, but he's going to come back on the 9 here and try to get one of his laps that he lost on pit road back. And basically, that's the strategy that he's going for at this moment, is he's trying to use the undercut here to get as much distance between himself and that 9 car for when the 9 eventually has to pit. And then you just have to hope you get a well-timed yellow to kind of bring you back into competition for this race. But so far, our top 3 still out on the track.
Top 3 still out on track, and you can just see how the fresh tires are affecting how much better you run on it. Hunter Johnson in that one car just ran away from our current leader, Andrew Wisdom, as he is on extremely old tires, and I assume getting ready to come in, but with Hunter Johnson going in so early compared to everyone else, I'm not sure how that's going to affect his race if we do not see another caution.
Again, not 100% sure what the fuel window is, but I imagine these drivers that are still out here are trying to get as close to it as they possibly can. And honestly, it seems like most of our drivers have stayed out, not just our top 3, but most of our drivers sans the one of Johnson. So it looks like these drivers are just trying to make it to a certain lap count to be able to decrease the number of pit stops. And also, if you can cut in theory, if you cut the remaining race into even parts, that's your maximum lap time, your maximum race time around the track, because you're spending the less possible time on old tires. So maybe that's just what these guys are trying to do here.
Very well could be. We're on board with James Holzer in the number 42. We're on board with him as he sits behind Andrew Wisdom, and these guys are still out and they are catching up. Is that Jacob Locklear that they are catching up to, or somebody else?
That is the 45 of Enrique Quinones. He is about to go a lap down here.
Let's take a look at Enrique. I'm curious if they're going to be going in before he can manage to get too far down a lap, or even a lap at all. So we'll see what these guys do. But our leaders are staying out a very long time. I mean, Hunter went in super early for this, so it's definitely going to affect his race overall. These guys are going to be out on fresh tires, as he is going to have more worn tires. So definitely going to affect his race, as this is his first one out here this season.
Yeah, maybe that's just how much he had overdriven his tires, overdriven his car there, is that they were screaming at him to come in early, and these drivers are still able to hold on. But right now, only 9 drivers currently on the lead lap, as they're catching up pretty quickly to Doc Holliday and in that 88 car.
Our leaders are pretty well separated, but not second and third. These guys have been completely together this entire time, which has allowed Andrew Wisdom to get away. And guys, for the giveaway, we have less than 6 minutes left on the timer. So if you want involved and you have not, go ahead and push exclamation point and the word giveaway. That'll get you a ticket to join the giveaway and hopefully win one. A lot of traffic for these guys.
Yeah, we have 4 different drivers on 3 different speeds. The 45 has been a little bit slower on old tires. The 7 and the 42 have been a little bit faster on old tires. And meanwhile, the 81 had come in and made his pit stop. He screamed by on fresh tires. So 3 different agendas, 3 different race speeds essentially kind of came together in one moment. The 7 and the 42 were able to get through there without any incident, but the 42 was able to use that lap traffic to reassert himself in the second position, and that line that James can run is incredibly annoying to that 7 of Brendan Book, because he keeps getting underneath him, and he's able to and I think the 7 is faster than the 42, but you get under him, and then you just can't, you don't have the entire corner to exit, so you just can't throttle up, get that speed out of the corner. No, the 42 gets the wall really hard there.
Oh, wow. It has not seemed to affect him too terribly much, but he is still in front of Brendan Book. But I would love to be a fly on the wall inside Brendan's car right now. You know he's got to be getting frustrated not being able to make the pass and try to catch Andrew Wisdom. But as you said, I think the 42 is just faster at the moment, but going side by side and thinking that you have a chance, it's got to be frustrating for the number 7.
42 is just lighting him up off the corner, and now the 7 has started getting into the corner a little bit harder, I think, than he means to. This time runs a little bit smoother of a line, but it seems like he's getting into the corner on the yellow line and then drifting up through the center just a little bit, about a quarter of a car width. and that just tells me that car incredibly tight, and he's pushing it really hard to try to get around this 42 car before they begin their pit cycle.
Yeah, our leader of Andrew Wisdom just made his way by Doc Holliday in that 88. And pretty soon we're going to have James Holzer in that 42 trying to make his way around the 88. So we'll see how that works out for these guys. But 42 starting to put a little bit of a gap between him and 7, who is currently sitting P3. So very close racing for these guys. The 88 stays up high for the James Holzer to go by. We'll see if he does the same for the number 7. Andrew Wisdom still a huge gap over second place. These guys, I'm amazed, Jordan, that they are still out here, still running laps on these tires. So the fuel on here has to be just insane, along with the tires. I'm really surprised. This is a really tough track, a lot of braking, but you gotta have, you know, a good balance between braking and just rolling through the corners, and these guys are doing it really well.
Yeah, the top 10 has not come in to the pits yet. That's 8 cars on the lead lap. Then Doc Holliday and Enrique Canones, who recently just got lapped. The 84 of Jacob Locklear, he is now finally on pit road, and his bumpers just came out, so he finally used his fast repair. Now he's got to bust it to try to get back on the lead lap. And that undercut's going to help him a little bit here. He's going to be able to make up a little bit of time and a little bit of pace, and at least put himself in a good position to get a lucky dog with a well-timed yellow. But still, the 84 fighting an uphill battle as we continue to log laps here in Richmond.
Yeah, you saw him coming out back on track as our leader passed him by, and he's going to be coming out right next to the 88 of Doc Holliday. So we'll see how these guys get back on track. But we talked about it earlier. You really have to get woed down to get onto pit road. Hasn't seemed to affect anyone yet, and especially coming out. So clean entries and exit for these guys. Although pit road, it really hasn't been that busy yet. I'm waiting to see the pit road rush out here.
Yeah, I mentioned a truck race we ran. There were several speeding penalties on pit road. Getting onto pit road itself wasn't too much of an issue, but getting down to speed for pit road seemed to get a lot of these drivers, give a lot of drivers some fits. And so I imagine with this field, the same thing could potentially happen here if we start to get them. But I'm watching this battle for 7th. Frozen. This is the best battle on the track right now between Justin Mons and Cole Snyder. Mons is running that high line, trying to hold off the 23, and is absolutely lighting the tires up off of each corner.
I can only imagine. Let's take a look. The 41 in the middle lane with Cole Snyder. He is down below, and he's going to fall in behind at the moment, but you saw it, as Jordan said. They were side by side, just absolutely killing those tires as they were battling it out. Very, very fun race to watch for these guys, but man, oh man, I can only imagine the handling on these cars at the moment. You guys, we have 20 seconds left on the timer, and then we will pick a winner. Just to let you know, I do have to buy whatever gift card you guys choose, so I'm not going to be able to do it during the race, but I promise I will get to you directly after the race. But 7 seconds, and we're going to be able to call a name. Super exciting out here. We have our leader, 9, who's got a very loose John Honeycutt directly behind him, and his teammate, the 84, who is making a pass underneath. The timer has run out, so let's go ahead and pick a winner, Jordan.
All right.
Leaf Justin is our winner tonight. Congratulations to Justin. Justin, let me know that you are in here. Hopefully you did not leave. I don't want to have to pull out another name, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to respond. And congratulations out there. Let me know which one that you want. Andrew Wisdom still our leader. James Holzer about 1.75 back, and there's Justin. Ranger says rigged.
Agreed.
Justin is Shake and Bake's admin, so a huge congratulations to you. Let me know what you want to pick too. Jordan, my mind is blown. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm telling you, with the one driver going in, and I assume that we had people going in not too long after. My mind is blown right now. How these guys almost lap 97, and they still have not gone in.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're trying to one-stop the rest of this race from that one pit stop, and it looks like they're going to be able to do it. The 9's still out there running some pretty solid lap times. How much have they fallen off here? Let's take a look. His best lap so far in this race is a 21.645, and he's running about 23 flats, give or take a tenth or so, depending on the traffic. So a lot of fall off over the course of this run, about a second, or about a second and a half, close to 2 seconds now, as he put down a 23.4 the last lap. But these guys are soldiering on, and that appears to be the strategy. And right now, I think that's going to be the winning one, judging by the lead that they have.
Yeah, a huge lead and a great time so far for these guys, and I feel like it's the Energizer battery. They just keep going and going. Such a fantastic job out here. But let's take a look. From 9th on, they are at least a lap down. We have Jacob Locklear in 13th, who is 2 laps down, and John Holiday, who is 3. So, these top 8 guys are doing great, but man, it's tough out here.
And Locklear is stuck behind the side-by-side battle that is for the first car for the last car on the lead lap and 7th position here. Between the 23 and the 41, they are continuing to go at it. The 23 of Cole Snyder is a little bit faster than the 41 of Mons, but Mons using that high lane to defend, and again, that is just so frustrating. It looks like the 23 is going to be able to dive it down in there. If he can get up in front of the 41 and clear him, that'll allow the 84 to kind of split the difference, and that'll be the gap the 23 needs. So move Cole Snyder into 7th, Justin Mons back to 8th. Well, now they're moved to 6th and 7th as we're having more drivers hitting pit road, it seems.
More drivers hitting pit road, and it looks like Brendan Book is going to be in 2nd, which means our 2nd place of James Holzer. He has hit pit road, and you can see it right there. He is coming off of pit road onto the track. We're going to see how he maneuvers around, but Andrew Wisdom still is our leader with Brendan Book almost about 3 seconds back, with Doc Holliday passing him on the outside.
Yeah, Holzer and Reedy both opted to come in that time. Mons also into pit road here. So right now, Wisdom, Book, O'Brien, Schur, and Snyder are the 5 drivers that have yet to pit that were still on the lead lap before this sequence began, and now our leader is hit pit road.
Our leader is definitely on pit road. Brendan Book chose to stay out, so he is our new leader at the moment until he goes in. Yeah, we're definitely starting to see these guys from 6 on. They're down at least a lap, but pit road will change that as these guys come down to take fuel and tires. Andrew Wisdom is about 13 seconds back. That is until Brendan Book goes in.
And they went about 82, 83 laps during that pit sequence, or during that lead lap. So that'll easily get them to the end of this race with about 74 to go, or 77 to go, 76 laps to go. So now it's a very interesting decision. Now Book finally, he decides to come to pit road, and I think he was needing to, so he didn't get killed by the undercut from both Wisdom and Holzer.
Absolutely. Brendan Book and James Holzer will be our new leader, with Hunter Johnson in 3rd. Andrew Wisdom passes up Johnson, so he's going to take over 3rd. Let's take a look at this out here. You see him make the pass, and the 1 gets into the wall, getting loose off the corner. Rough night for his first night out here. I mean, he's still doing pretty good. I can't say anything like that, but yeah, we've seen him get into the wall a couple times from getting loose, but very, very solid run for his first race.
Yeah, and right now he's on about 40 laps older tires. That's how much earlier he came into pit than these other drivers. So he is definitely on the struggle bus at the moment, trying to keep up, trying to nurse this car home. He's likely going to have to pit again. That'll be 120 laps on one set of tires almost. That's not going to happen, I don't think.
No.
I don't think the fuel's going to last, but definitely I don't think the tires will make it with any sort of speed. But the 1 just trying to nurse it home, he's definitely hoping he can get a yellow here before too long.
106 laps out of 180. James Holzer is our leader with Andrew Wisdom less than a second behind. You see Justin Mons in that 41 just behind him. And let's take a look at Andrew Wisdom, who's got 2 cars in between him and our current leader.
Oh, a yellow's out.
What? Yellow just came out, you guys. This changes absolutely everything for some of these guys. It's going to give them a chance to get back on the lead lap here. And Hunter Johnson, who really needed a caution, this is his chance right here.
Yeah, but he was the yellow, so that's he got
That's no
he got
good.
loose. He got real loose off of turn 4. Just those tires giving up. He's had to drive. He's had to drive that car so hard pretty much all race. Got loose coming off of turn 4. Really a light slide, only a little bit of right rear damage, so nothing too terrible. But he's likely going to want that repaired. Might need to use the fast repair. We'll have to see. But otherwise, that's going to put everybody on that's there on that sequence. I wonder how many of these drivers are. Imagine a lot of these guys are going to stay out here. I don't know. We're going to have to see the different pit strategies.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, would it be worth it to go in at this point? You see Brendan Book. Let's take a look at him as he
Stayed out.
He stayed out. We have Cole Snyder directly in front of him in that 23. He's going to go to get a lap back, and we have Jacob Locklear in that 84. Let's see. Who do you think we should talk to and bring in the booth here?
That is not my decision.
Let's go ahead and get Jacob Locklear. We'll get him in here.
He's coming into pit.
All right, Jacob, it is Eliza in the booth. How are you tonight?
Pretty good.
We've seen ups and downs for you tonight. We saw you involved in an incident with your teammate, John Honeycutt. Since then, trying to battle back. How's the car been feeling for you?
Well, it's actually gotten tighter with the damage. After I repaired the car, I actually started moving a little bit faster. I actually would prefer the car damage, to be honest. I mean, I was able to make up some time, but now I guess it's just trying to get to the end.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you luck. Hopefully we can see you move up through the field for the rest of the race. And until then, keep her steady, and I hope to see you after the race there.
I hope so too.
All right, take it easy.
I'll try.
All right, that was Jacob Locklear in that 84. Tough start to his race after getting involved in an incident early on, but he still seems to hold high hopes in what he can accomplish for the remainder of the race, as we have Brendan Book and that number 7 strong showing for him out here. If you recall, he did win a race a couple of races ago. Let me see if I can find what that was, but he was a part-time driver out here, and he ended up winning Atlanta on his first race out here for PSES.
Yeah, and he opted to stay out this time around, but he only had about a lap and a half, 2 laps at most on his tires running hard, so worked out a little better for him. That yellow was actually perfect for what he was trying to do. Everyone else, though, came in the pit. We'll see what 2 laps worth of tires is worth. And before that yellow flag came out, I was really curious to see what the 9 car was going to do, how he was going to have to push hard, if he was going to be able to make that pass on the 42 that the 7 was not able to make. Right, but now Andrew Wisdom has to pass 2 of them. He's now in 3rd. We're going to have to see what he can do without the clean air.
Yeah, we also have Austin Reedy up here, and the 5 and the 17. We've seen them all incredibly fast tonight, so now that we're all bunched up, back up together, I think it's going to start to get very, very interesting. I cannot wait to see what these guys have. I think it's going to get a little crazy, Jordan.
Oh, I imagine there's going to be some hard driving here at the start of this restart.
And here we go. Brendan Book going to lead us off, and we are back to green after our 3rd caution of the night, which is very, very good as we're on lap 113. James Holzer on the outside in the 42 with Andrew Wisdom, who's led a ton of this race. He's directly behind with Austin Reedy in the 11. He wants up here, and he's got a strong car to show it.
Yeah, the 42 used that high line through 1 and 2 to get a run on the 7 of Brendan Book. Almost cut across the 11 of Austin Reedy's nose, but was barely clear, and we have an accident in the back.
Let's take a look. Looks like Michael York is involved. You see teammates. Oh, yeah, he gets loose, and I think John Honeycutt had nowhere to go on that as he's going through the corner. Made a little bit of contact, and that just kind of finished him off.
Yeah, just watching this. Yeah, the 11 just gets really loose coming off the corner, just trying to get a little too much throttle. Gets down, almost gets into the 50. Yeah, the 84 involved, the 88 with some pretty significant damage. So we talked to Locklear, and he immediately got involved in a wreck. So it doesn't matter who it is. Liza, you managed to
Booth curse.
To curse them, yeah.
I know. I've seen it race after race. All these booth curses, man, just no good. Frozen Toes Racing out here just having a rough night tonight. Hunter Johnson, you saw involved in that. He is teammates with Jacob Locklear and John Honeycutt, who is also involved in that. It's just one of those nights. Let's go back up with our leader. Hopefully we have another lap where we can talk to, I don't know, do we have Brendan Book? I don't see him out here available to talk, so maybe next time. Seeing all this play out. Go ahead.
Nah, never mind. No, I was seeing something that wasn't live because I had gone back to watch stuff. So never mind.
Never mind. That's fine. Seeing all this and seeing Holzer as a strong driver out here, and Reedy, who, what happened to Andrew Wisdom, by the way? He's out here in 7th. Was he back that far? I thought he was up further than that.
He might have come into pit again. Yeah, he came in pit. He got 4 fresh tires again and opted to pit there. So
interesting.
Very interesting decision with. There are only 12 cars on the lead lap, and it looks like, he's going to be in the 7th spot here for this restart. So maybe a net loss of about 3 spots or whatever. But you have to see how that call plays out for him.
Absolutely. James Holzer is going to be very hungry to try to capture a win here with Austin Reedy, who we've seen very strong, and for different circumstances he's had to leave the race and whatnot when he's had a very strong drive. We've seen him kind of get loose on the first turn in a race and lost it and struggled trying to get back up through here. So will this be his chance to get another win out here? Very interesting to see, but we're coming back, getting ready to go live after our 4th caution. Goat, what's up, guys? And another congratulations to our giveaway winner, Leaf Justin. You guys are all awesome. I just appreciate everything you've done, and appreciate the support for these drivers also. Let me know who you're rooting for in chat. I want to see who your driver is. Jordan, who's your driver? Who do you see finishing as the winner?
I still liked Andrew Wisdom before he was 7th in line with a few restarts to go. I think the 42 might be a little better than the 7, but I have a feeling, I'm just gonna make an assumption that alternative line that he's running, especially on these restarts, is going to get him into trouble at some point. I just have this feeling that somebody's not going to be expecting it, and he's going to get into somebody's bumper, and it's going to cause an accident. But I guess I'm still going to stay with the 9, even though I don't really like his track position at the moment.
I think he can make it through. He's got the patience, he's got the skills, and he's got the fresh tires. I think he's going to be able to do it, but he's got a lot of fast drivers out there, so it is most definitely going to be a challenge. We have JLC who says the 42. We have the 50 fans out there. And we are getting ready to go back to green as Austin Reedy all over the back bumper of Brendan Book, who is out there leading. The 42 quickly tucks behind him. And the 5 is into the wall, Jordan.
Yeah, the 5 made the mistake that I make a lot on NASCAR Heat and other racing games. You arc out for the corner and you put yourself in the wall. That turn, that entry into turn 1 kind of comes at you. He managed to do it here and might have damaged his car a little bit. Oh, the 7 overdrove the exit.
Oh.
That's going to allow the 42 underneath him. He's going to try to look underneath Brendan Book for the lead as they go through 1 and 2.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see how he does on the inside. As you know, that was so close. The 1, Hunter, he is out there super loose. I don't know if he's going to be able to save it. He hits the wall and is spun. That is going to bring back another caution. Let's go out here and see what happened. Yeah, he got some contact from John Honeycutt in that 50. It looks like so many guys almost got into the wall there, J-Mac. Just nowhere to go.
Trying to get back there and just see what happened, and oh yeah, the
Big
50.
group of cars.
That absolutely killed the wall there.
Yeah.
But
Novaton, hopefully I said that right. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you guys being out here. Goat, not eye pacing just yet. 5th caution of the night, and you know, it's getting towards the end of the race. We're gonna see some cautions. There's gonna be guys that are gonna be super aggressive out here trying to push the cars to the limit, but it will not be another Martinsville.
interesting thing happened there. James Holzer, the only car to stay out on that pit cycle. The 7 of Brendan Book led everyone else down pit road. Was not sure if he was really tight or if he was just over driving the car, but on exit he had to keep it out of the wall on both the exit of 4 and then the exit of 2. That allowed the 42 of Holzer, and then heard over the radio they were calling out a wreck happening in the 11 of Austin Reedy. Absolutely packed it into turn 3 under the 7 of Brendan Book, trying to get in front of him before the yellow came out. Was not able to. That allowed Book to hold on to that 2nd spot. Andrew Wisdom able to get up to 5th on that restart, so that's where he will be when they go back green. Actually, it looks like he will be in the 4th spot.
He will be in the 4th spot, and we have Cole Martin, who has been out. Jacob Locklear has joined. He is retired. He is out of the race, and Kelly Melanson, who is now 121 laps down. So 3 cars that are out. John Holiday is the only car who is a lap down at the moment. James Holtz are going to be leading us off, Jordan, and the battle. You know, what do you think's going through Brendan Book's mind right now as he knows what's going to happen?
I don't know. I think you just want to hit your marks here, have a nice smooth restart. The 42 obviously going to get as good of a launch as he can here. When they take the green flag, he's going to want to time it right, be able to stay with that 42. Not really just to pass the 42, but to be able to defend himself from the 11 of Reedy, because Reedy will have the benefit of being able to see when Holzer goes and to go with him. So right now the 7 probably worried more about defense, holding on to that 2nd spot on the exit of 2, and then if things work out, then he can go on the offense.
You can see the schedule here. Next week we will be at the high banks of Talladega. Again, I'm very excited to see this, so can't wait to see what they do, but first, we got to get through this race, and it's going to be a heck of a battle out here to the finish, as James Holzer will lead us off this time. And Brendan Book, you know, if I'm Brendan Book and I know what he's, you know, that James Holzer likes to drive it up high, and I can't get that run, you're going to have to try to be a little bit sneaky, try to drive it in harder, try to beat him to the line, and hope he makes a mistake.
And the 42 taking that high line here on this restart, and that's actually going to really benefit the 11 of Austin, or the 9 of Andrew Wisdom. Sorry, that's the 9 is going to get a great benefit of this because he's going to get to see the restart. So, really interesting. The 42 has used that high lane to good effect so far in this race. He wants to be there, and we're going to see who's going to come out of turn 5. turn 2 ahead between the 9 and the 7 as they get going here.
Green flag.
James Holzer already off and running with Brendan Book kind of falling back a little bit with Andrew Wisdom on the high side, and already he's made his way back up here. Austin Reedy in that 11 directly behind. Brendan Book gonna have to stay on that low line and getting out of all the help behind him. So these guys gonna go, ooh, a little bit of contact between Brendan Book and the 9 as he's putting the front of his car to the back of Andrew Wisdom in that 9. I think this battle's gonna be between the 42 and the 9, Jordan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That actually worked out great for Andrew Wisdom. James Holzer taking that outside lane. The 7 got a great bite through the corner, both ends of the track, but got into the 42, and that slowed down his momentum. And then he got into the 9, and that slowed down his momentum. As we see the 11 getting incredibly loose coming off of turn 4.
He is going to lose a couple of spots from that, and
Caution.
we have a caution. Let's go take a look. It looks like Michael York is involved. Let's see what happened. Gets loose and just loses it coming off. Doc Holliday involved in the 88. And that is going to bring out the 6th caution of the night as we are on lap 130 of 180.
Oof. Yeah, it just got loose and got hit. That's that. But loose off of the corner is it's sort of been something that's been common throughout the league. And now the 42 with slightly older tires. We'll see what his choice is here. Imagine there's going to be a lot of fakes as they come around. It looks like the 42 going to look low, and then probably drag it back onto the racetrack. Yep, that's exactly what he did. We'll see who decides to come down. I believe 6 on back. They will opt to pit here.
I'm trying to see if we can get someone in the booth here. Let's see if we have any takers. Let's go ahead and get John Honeycutt in here. John, it's Eliza in the booth. How are you?
Good. What's going on, Eliza?
Not too bad. How's the race going for you? I know we've seen you get loose a couple of times. How's the conditions out there for you?
It's just loose, and at the same time, I'm running out of talent every time I come up with corners. So, it's been an up and down night. I've caused already like 3 cautions, so I have no idea what's going on. I'm just trying to hold on to this thing and hopefully keep this thing pointed in the right direction.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you a lot of luck, and hopefully we'll see a great finish for you here tonight.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
You too. All right, that was John Honeycutt in that number 50. A lot of fans out there for him. And yes, Doc has had a rough couple of weeks. Still a lot of damage to that 50 car, though, so I'm not sure if he chose to not repair it all, but James Holzer going to lead us back to the green flag once again.
Well, I'm amazed at the speed the 50 has even had because, like I said, I believe he used his fast repair immediately after that opening flag caution that came out, that wreck at the beginning of the race, and he had a big wreck soon after that. And that car has taken a few dings, taken a few hits, but it keeps on ticking. And that 50 car sitting there in 11th, knocking on the door of a top 10, even with the damage he has, even with a small field, with the damage he has, that would be a pretty
good points day.
feat.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what he can do. He's got a teammate, Hunter Johnson, directly in front of him, who has also struggled here tonight. Their other teammate, Jacob Locklear, has since retired, so we'll see what they can do. But James Holzer, he will lead us off, and he's been so incredibly strong. But Andrew Wisdom, he has led most laps here tonight, and I guarantee we're going to see him fighting back for that position.
Once again, I'm going to be watching that driver who's going to get to start in 4th because Holzer will likely take that outside lane again. So the 11 of Austin Reedy in a great position here to make up some ground and putting himself in the 2nd spot early in this restart. Also going to be looking back and seeing what the difference in tires is over these few laps that these drivers had to run. The 17 of Matthew O'Brien is going to be the first car on new tires in 6th spot.
We're going to stay on board with Austin Reedy. You bring up an interesting point. He's going to have a great start and a great possibility to get moving and gain some positions, as James Holzer is going to lead us off on the high side. So I want to see how he can maneuver around and is he going to make up any position here. So we're going to remain on board with Austin Reedy as we head back to green on lap 134 of 180. Pace car is off and the 42 immediately goes. Let's see what kind of start Austin Reedy can have. You see Andrew Wisdom. He is just all over it. Tucks in directly behind the 42. Austin Reedy going to take the outside. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom on the inside. Going to take over that P2 spot.
Yeah, the 42 went really early, caught these guys by surprise. The 9 actually spun his tires, but the 11 was so late on the start that he was still able to get up in front of him to take that spot. Now the 9 with a huge dive bomb going down into turn 1, the 42 giving him no room. Going to pinch him onto the yellow line. The 9 not going to be able to make that pass, but he's going to be able to stay side by side with him as they go into 3.
Wow, that was getting a little sketchy out there. I saw those guys getting a little loose, but they held on to it. Andrew Wisdom is going to be side by side with the 42 as he's on the outside. Andrew Wisdom wants that lead back, but the 42, he is just so incredibly strong on that high side. I don't know, this battle's going to last for a while there, Jordan.
Yeah, that's just it. That's the most aggravating thing about the 42 car. He's run that line all race long. He knows what he's doing up there. He's practiced it all race long, so he's going to be really tough to pass without moving him. And as high as he's running, he's going to be really tough to move. So it's sort of that limits the options that the 9 of Andrew Wisdom has to complete this pass, other than just getting by him on pure speed. And so far, that just hasn't quite been enough. He's able to get almost his entire car, but that rear bumper clear of the 42, and that's just enough to let the 42 hold this lead. But he's fighting hard. Both of these drivers are.
Yeah, we're on board with Andrew Wisdom, and you can just see him working the wheel as he's coming off corner exit. Extremely loose, and he can't use the entire track. Just absolutely incredible. So you really have to watch it as you're underneath James Holzer. I mean, you really want to use the whole track, but he can't. He's almost cleared Jordan. So close. And then these guys are back to equal as James gets that insane run coming off the corner.
Oh, he's clear now.
He needs to slide job it right there. He's going to try to do a slide job.
Oh, he's going to give it to him.
Yeah, he's going to give it back to him. And these guys still side by side, Jordan.
Yeah, about 30 laps from now, the 9 pulls up in front of the 42, but the 9 car did not want to give up that inside lane, didn't want to slide up in front of the 42, gave him the spot. Now he's going to get clear by a car length. We'll see if he pulls up into that outside lane. He does. Will the 42 tuck in line, or will he try the crossover? It looks like he's going to. The 9 going to run a very defensive line. He's going to pinch the 42 onto the apron a little bit. Now, pinched him twice there. And the 42 got super loose trying to power it up off the corner. The 9 of Andrew Wisdom is retaking the lead.
Let's take a look at the battle between Matthew O'Brien. You see it right here, and Brendan Book. These guys going side by side as we had a battle for the lead. Matthew O'Brien gaining some time on him, but man, quite the battle as Brendan Book is hanging on the outside. You see Edward Scher directly behind him. These guys just switching positions. One's taking the high side, the other's taking the low side, and then we're going to have a crossover, and they're going to do it all over again. Andrew Wisdom, since he has taken the lead, he has put a little bit of a gap between him and second. Not much. I mean, he's still right there with him, but from second on, there is a little bit of a gap between second and third. We'll see if they can't close that down, but I think we might be seeing another battle brewing up for the lead here.
Oh, the 11 gets into the wall just a little bit. This battle for third getting crazy, but the battle for the lead getting even tighter as the 42 looks to the outside of the 9. He's going to look and see if he can get that run and power it down into turn 1.
Less than 40 laps to go, and the racing here is absolutely insane. The top 9 guys are all in this front pack, and there's just battles going everywhere. I see Austin Reedy kind of blinking out here. Not a good time for him. We'll see what happens, but he's got Matthew O'Brien directly behind, so we'll see what he can do as these guys are just really putting their tires to the test here, Jordan.
Yeah, I think the 9 burned his stuff up a little bit. He might be, I don't know if he hurt his car or if he's just trying to reel back on what he put on his tires and take it easy here. But the 42 really hounding him, in the 9 running really defensively, and Holzer being real patient with him, a little more patient than I would expect him to be there. So the 9 of Wisdom able to hold on to that lead, and now he's legged out a little bit of a distance here on the 42. Going to see how that pace of the 9 holds up over the course of the run, but the 42 having that option to go to the outside lane here, if he's able to get back to him. Oh, it's the 7 and the 17 get real tight. That's going to benefit the 42 at the end as this race comes to a close.
Absolutely. I'm on board with Austin Reedy and Matthew O'Brien, who's in that 17.
Oh, the 17 gets the wall.
He did. He made some contact with the wall. He's got Brendan Book, who has fallen back a little bit. He is directly behind Matthew O'Brien, and man, what a battle for third. These guys hanging out single file at the moment, but before, I'll tell you what, 2 wide and just battles for every position you can think of. Meanwhile, you have Edward Schur in that 5 car. He's just hanging back, watching all this transpire directly in front of him. I think we might see him try to make a move on these guys if something happens.
Yeah, Book kind of in the wrong place for both of those restarts that those previous 2 started in that 3rd position, which you think would be good, but that was on the slower lane to react for that restart. Once again, he's fallen back just a little bit. But watching the 17 and the 11, both of those drivers have been bouncing off the wall while racing each other. I think the 7 trying to pace himself a little bit, pick his time here. But laps are winding down, laps are running out, only 28 to go when they hit the line here.
Take a look at the 17 and 7. They were going side by side. Now it's the 17 and 11. They're going 3 wide. Look at this at Richmond Raceway. 3 wide. The 11 hits the wall, makes some contact as he's trying to give these guys some room. 17 and the 7 still 2 wide with Edward Schur behind him, getting ready to look like it was almost 3 wide once again. What a battle.
It's just so difficult to make a pass on the inside. And we've seen that all race long, and Brendan Book just hadn't quite been able to clear really anyone that he's been forced to race with so far. Meanwhile, the 11, like you said, he got the wall, and it looked like it was because he was just trying to give room to those drivers beneath him. Was not expecting 3 wide, I don't think, there. But still, I think they've just rubbed the paint off and nothing more as they keep going with decent pace.
Let's take a look at John Honeycutt, who is in the top 10 at the moment. He's got Justin Mons directly in front of him in the 41. These guys are in quite a group together once again. Hunter Johnson, who is currently sitting P7. He has struggled, but since on the lead lap, we'll see how he maneuvers here through traffic and if he can make up any more positions. Enrique is in that P10 spot. He's about almost 6 seconds behind, well, 5.5 seconds behind our leader, so he is still running out there really well. He's got Cole Snyder directly behind him. A little bit of a gap, but not much, but these guys are running out pretty well. Jordan, do you think James Holter is going to be able to catch up to him? 24 to go. We're down to the countdown here. So I'm curious, do you think he's going to be able to catch him?
It all depends on how hard the 9 is working right now. If he's driving his car incredibly hard, then the 42 has an opportunity to catch him and run him down. But if the 9 is just pacing himself, if it's the 42 who's working hard to try to get back to him, then obviously it's going to be incredibly difficult for that 42 to make up that distance. It's now over a second, 1.111 on my board the last time around. So yeah, I think it's going to be real tough if the 9 is managing his tires, and I imagine he is, as Holzer lost almost another 2/10 there during that last lap.
Absolutely. It's going to be a tough one. At Wisdom, he's always bringing out a very, very strong car to the track. Always a lot of fun to watch. And last week, he just won Martinsville. He loves the short tracks, does very well out here, and that was his 2nd win of the season. he might make tonight the 3rd win of the season. So, and this is just the 9th round so far. A ton of more racing left, but he is on a roll this season.
Liza, I'm watching this battle still for 4th, really, between Brendan Book and Matthew
Me
O'Brien.
too.
They have been going at it for
It
the
is
last
crazy.
few laps. They're side by side. Brendan Book just not able to pass him. That outside lane, able to defend so well if you can get that bite off the corner and not get the wall. The 7 trying to use all of the track he can to use that to get that run on exit, and just hasn't been able to do it. Now it seems like he's driving really hard on entry, and that's just going to hurt his exit as he's underneath the 17 of Matthew O'Brien. Matthew O'Brien not having to work as hard while holding on to that position, while the 7, he appears to be working incredibly hard.
You know, you and I both know Brendan Book, and you know that when he wants to go, he wants to go. So I guarantee you he's a little bit frustrated. Hopefully having a lot of fun, though. He's had some crazy battles out here, but man, oh man. That 17 of Matthew O'Brien, super strong out there, directly behind Austin Reedy, who has also had a great season. But Matthew O'Brien, I really love how he's running his races, the past couple of races. He's obviously very good at short track, so I want to see these guys next week. I want to see what they're going to bring to the track. A lot of strategy is going to happen, and yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
It looked like the 17 got in there a little bit hard, but I'm really enjoying watching these drivers start trying to find grip. Richmond, not normally a place known for having multiple lines, and at least not multiple lines all the way up to the wall, but the 17 using a lot of racetrack and exited that corner a little lower than I think the 7 was expecting. Brendan Book giving Matthew O'Brien a little bit of a break there as the 5 gives the 7 a shot. These 4 still on top of each other, and now the 17, after playing defense, he's going to go on the offense, and he's going to understand the pain that Book felt trying to pass him as he tries to work around him on the inside. And you used a word about Brendan Book that we know. You said frustrated, and like you said, we know him, and his frustrated is a different level of frustrated than other people. So if he doesn't use that front bumper by the end of this race, I'll be incredibly surprised.
I will be incredibly surprised, but like I said earlier, I want to be a fly in that car. I guarantee.
The 11!
The 11! Wonderful save on his part, but man, oh man, just tapped the 17. They are still off and running. The 11 is going to bring it high, and we're going to be 3 wide once again, almost. Brendan Book backed out of it, but man, oh man, those 3 have been 3 wide a couple of times so far here tonight.
Yeah, this is exactly what the 7 needs. Now he has the 17 pinned down. He took that opportunity and was able to pass the 17 finally. Now he gets the opportunity to go after the 11. And now it just seems like you just got to be higher than that driver in front of you. You got to find that outside lane, because that seems like the way to make the pass.
Edward Sure is trying to take advantage of the 17 getting loose, and you saw him getting loose just a second ago, which allowed Edward Sure to make his way by him. Very interesting to see, as these guys are kind of playing musical cars at the moment, making their way around and switching positions a lot. But Edward Sure, I feel like he was being very patient throughout, and now it's go time. 12 to go. This race is coming down to the wire, and you can already tell he's pushing it. He's trying to make up his way to Brendan Book and Austin Reedy. I won't be surprised if we see this 3 wide once again.
Yeah, the race for the lead has extended out to 1.7 seconds. You're not missing anything there. This battle for 3rd is absolutely incredible. The 5 gets the wall there. I was impressed with Sure able to make that pass on the inside a few laps ago, but that time just trying to figure out, find some real estate there on the back straight, ended up getting into the wall there just a little bit. Not sure if he might have gotten clipped by the 7 or if he kind of put himself in the wall trying to find room. But either way, the 11 has been running all over the place, and like you said, we saw the 17 getting loose, and that's the effect of running that high line, is you can put a little bit of adverse wear on that on those tires. Well, it's really more the right front that gets worn. But either way, 17 got loose. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I'm a color commentator. What can I say? I just say things and hope it's right.
Wisdom increasing that lead to almost 2.5 seconds, 2.25 right there. Austin Reedy about 5 seconds back, but man, Jordan called it. I mean, this race for P3 is just absolutely intense. I can't imagine being one of those drivers, but man, oh man, are they putting on a great show. You guys, let me know, who do you think is going to take P3? Heck, while you're at it, who's going to take P2? You see Brendan Book taking over P3. These guys are fully wide. Contact. And 17 is going to make his way around. We have Edward Schur, who's just benefited from this entire thing. And I've had my hopes set on him tonight that he was just being patient, and you see it paying off. These guys are starting to get pretty well separated, Jordan, since that happened. Some contact, some getting loose. Edward Schur has taken over that third spot. Matthew O'Brien in fourth. Austin Reedy in fifth. And Brendan Book in sixth. John Honeycutt, meanwhile, take a look at this. He has moved up.
I don't know how that car is in seventh, but my gosh, it's in seventh somehow.
Oh man, tough day for him, but up to P7. You can't complain about that, but he's definitely got a scrunched up nose. You know his lap times are hurting out there.
Yeah, just to go back to that racing, that was some excellent racing. The 7 just got real tight, and the 11 tried to take that outside lane, and the 7 just couldn't get her woe down, and now the 11 looks really hurt from all that. Just fighting hard, racing hard, and he kind of got the worst end of that. No fault of his own by any stretch of the imagination. It's just wrong place, wrong time, just trying to race hard. But you hate to see that because Reedy was running third there and looked like he was going to be the driver to run third, and now it's looking like he's going to finish in that 6th spot. But the driver that made out in all of that was the 5 of Edward Schur. As we're coming down to 3 to go, Andrew Wilson with a 2.641 second lead over James Holzer.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom, who has led so much of this race tonight. You can just see the gap. In fact, you can't even see the gap. There's so much of a gap. You can't even see the next car. Almost 3 seconds, just shy of it. There we go. Now we can see P2 back there. James Holzer in the 42 has run a fantastic race. We're with 2 to go. If Andrew can just hold on to it, we're going to crown him as the 3rd win of the season for him. He just won last race, so it's going to be back-to-back wins for him. And I'll tell you what, knock on wood, guys. I don't want to jinx him because I've jinxed a few out here in the booth. Final lap, we're going to bring him home as we enter turn 1. We'll see if we can't keep him out there. James Holzer, what's going on with him?
Just no speed in that car, it doesn't look like.
I just saw the time drop and I'm like, oh no. Well, let's take a look. Andrew Wisdom is our winner here tonight. Fantastic job for him. Let's go ahead and bring him in the booth. And James Holzer and Edward Schur, who had a great drive to the finish.
Yep. That was a really good race there. That race for 3rd was incredible between 4 drivers. And watching just the different strategies, the different lines throughout the race. The 42 tried that alternate line. In the end, though, just pure speed of Andrew Wisdom was able to win out today, and congrats to him.
We have Andrew Wisdom, our leader, and back-to-back race winner in that number 9. A huge congratulations to you. Man, oh man, what a drive for you. Take us through how your race went tonight.
It was pretty smooth sailing, I think, on that first green flag run at least. Right after I think we made it through the pit cycle, we had that caution that shook things up, and we had a lot of people pitting on different laps and different strategies, and I guess we ended up making the right call there. Got a little bit lucky with James picking the outside on one of those restarts that helped us get up to 2nd. So, but yeah, we had a great battle with him, and once we got around him, I think we just had a little bit better tires and kind of sailed off from there.
Yeah, strategy call with you going in. It put you back to 7th, but you had a heck of a run up to the front. Just an overall great job to you tonight. Back-to-back wins and 3rd one of the season. So huge congratulations. Is there any sponsors you'd like to thank tonight?
Just Virtual Racing School for providing great data packs for me to study throughout the week, and just helping me get good feedback and compare data and kind of improve myself and learn from the best, and all my teammates at Nitro Motorsports for helping me out throughout the race.
All right, congratulations to you, and great job tonight.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, Jordan, do you want to give an interview to our 2nd place, James Holzer?
Yeah, here with James Holzer, our second place finisher on the night. James running an alternate line for a lot of that race, working in that high lane. By the end, a lot of drivers had moved up there, but you were the only one there at the beginning. So talk about that, and then also your battle there at the end, and what you needed a little more of to come away with the win.
Yeah, fantastic battle there with Andrew at the end. I gave it 120% of what that car had. I was just driving the wheels off, I think, at the end. But I was watching a little bit of the Coke race, and I know they're on open setup, so it's slightly different. But I was realizing that drivers could save a little bit more tire on the rear since they changed the dynamic track, and you could get a little bit more grip, especially off the exit of 4, and save a little bit of heat in the right rear, and even gain a little bit of time if you run it right. So I was just trying to get up there, and like especially on a restart, if you could really sail it in there hard, because if you're shooting for the bottom lane, you'd get a little bit loose, but you could kind of send it on the high side a little bit harder and possibly get a crossover on that restart, which I had on Brendan, the one to get the lead. But yeah, the difference in the end was just the tires. I was on about, I think, 8 lap older tires or so from the rest of the pack because I don't know. I just didn't. I thought track position was going to be crucial at the end, but I guess with only 11 on the lead lap, I guess I should have pit. But live and you learn, but you can't complain about a P2 finish. And like I said, it was a great battle between Andrew and I. It was very clean, respectful, hard, close quarters racing, and couldn't ask for much more than that. And congratulations to him. He drove a heck of a race.
That is James Holzer in P2. Back to you, Eliza.
All right, P3, we have Edward Sure, and I'll tell you what a battle to the finish. I mean, I kind of figured you were being patient out there. Take us through your strategy in the end. Were you being patient, or were you just kind of like, I'm just going to hang back and try to battle it out, but you don't want to get yourself in too much trouble?
Yeah, we were discussing that. Me and my crew chief / spotter out combat, we were discussing the strategy there in the end, but we were thinking if I wanted to push and hope for a caution in the end to come out, because I preferred fresher tires to pit every time for tires, because it was easier for me to pass with better tires, because I suck really bad on old tires here. But yeah, the strategy was we were going to wait for about 10 to go and then start hauling the mail there, but luckily the 7 and the 11 came together, and we slipped through an open hole. And I'll tell you what, this 5 car did not pull long in the top 3 tonight. Speed wasn't really the best tonight, but I mean, we somehow pulled out a top 3, but I'm just happy for everybody with this Ready Energy team, and really looking forward to Talladega, where I really strongly believe this 5 car would be out front most of the day next week.
Can't wait to see a great run for you today. Awesome finish and some great moves for all of you guys. A huge congratulations to Andrew Wisdom on his 3rd win of the season, 2 back-to-back, and you heard it here. We're going to the high banks at Talladega next week. It's going to be a wild ride. I hope you guys tune in. I can't wait to see it, but next week, Talladega. And a huge congratulations to our giveaway winner, Leaf Justin. Until then, you guys take it easy. We will be back. We will be back next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Talladega. You guys take it easy and have a great night.